Are there any corrections to the minute? If not, then the minutes will stand as approved. The next order of business is reading and approval of the agenda. Please take this time to read over the agenda. Are there any corrections to the agenda? If not, then the agenda will stand as approved. The next order of business is public comment. Is there any public comment? If there is no public comment, we will move on to the next order of business. The next order of business is guest speakers. President Matthews, may you please present our first guest speaker?
Thank you. We have some very special guests here today to speak to us. We have Vice Chancellor John Coronado, Chief Booker, Director Clarence Bridges, and members of the preparedness office. So you can all come here up to the front and give them a round of applause.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'll talk from here, talk loudly because I'm only going to be here for a minute. I want the team to do a lot of the presentation. Thank you for having us here. I'm John Coronado, the Vice Chancellor for Administrative Services, all the campus public safety and facilities to include transportation. It works for me, and so Matthew kindly invited us to share public, things about campus safety as well as night ride with this group. So I brought members of the police force, our preparedness and response organization, and our transportation organization to talk to you about nuts and bolts, how things are going from a safety perspective on campus, as well as many of the resources that are available for you. And we have giveaways as well. So with that, I'll introduce Police Officer Jasmine McAvaney to talk about safety on campus. And then she'll turn it over to you. Thank you.
I think I'm pretty loud. Everybody can hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, like you said, I'm Officer Jasmine McAvaney. If that's too hard, you can just call me Officer Mac. Big Mac, doesn't matter. No one's offended. So I'm going to dive into the safety resources that we have here on campus. First things first is a StarTel system. So when you walk around campus, you'll see these. They're the big blue ballers. They've got the blue light on top. So these are going to be the emergency system that will connect you to our dispatch center if you have an emergency. These are going to be in walkways, your parking garages, your bathrooms, as well as your elevators, okay? If someone presses this on accident, we'll send an officer still just to make sure that everything's okay, all right? Because sometimes I was a college student once too, you might be in that elevator, big bag of laundry, right? You hit the StarTel, oh, whoops, accident. We're still going to send someone, okay? Because we want to make sure that there's no emergency going on. Some of them do have video surveillance on time. The good thing about this, let's say maybe you're having a medical emergency, right? If you're having that medical emergency, hey, maybe I can't really speak, I need to sit down, but I know that Officer Mac said, hey, I can press this button. Press that button, our dispatch can see what's going on, they can surveil the area and let us know, hey, we need to send an ambulance, or maybe this person is having a seizure. We can get all that information because we have cameras on some of this, as well as some of the video surveillance we have around the university. Next, we have the Safe App. So the Office of Preparedness and Response, they can dive a little bit deeper into that. But something I want to highlight with that, we have our virtual escorts through that. We also have a panic button through there. And you can also chat with the police. So here, it'll connect you to us as well as a variety of different safety and preparedness resources here on campus. And it's free. We don't like anything free, right? Free safety. So walking escorts, if you call our police department, the non-emergency line, so at the bottom of the screen, it's little small, but 312-996-2830, call that non-emergency line, that'll connect you to our dispatch center and you can ask for a walking escort. So that's usually conducted by our student patrol. If you're not comfortable with it being a student, that's okay. You can always request an officer and we will send that person to do an escort for you. We also have the Safe Exchange zone. So a lot of times, let's say, I hate buying things full price, right? Let's go on Facebook Marketplace, let's get something, right? But I don't want to meet in some random parking garage or something like that, or an alley that's not well lit. You can come into the police station, or you can go into our satellite office, which we will be having, at the student center, first floor. You can come in there and do that exchange safely, okay? So that way we can make sure that you're safe, you're meeting someone, and I always recommend asking that person to meet you at a police station. If they don't wanna meet you there, big red flags, just forget about buying, okay? Just a recommendation. Next, we've got bikes, scooters. I see a lot of you guys have laptops, right? You can register that with our police department for free. So in the unfortunate event, if it ever gets stolen or anything like that, then we are able to connect. Who does that laptop, bike, scooter, who does that belong to? Okay, so that helps our investigators know, all right, we lost this piece of property or someone found it. Now we can look up that information and now we know exactly who it belongs to. We know the description of that object. Okay, it just helps us help you a little bit better. Then we do the active threat seminars. Have you guys heard of these before? No, yes, okay. Some of you, so with the active threat seminars, this is going to be, in other words, active shooter, right? So during these presentations, we will let you know, this is what a response would look like from police. Also, if this does happen, this is what you should do, okay? These are the steps that you can take if something like this does happen, all right? So it's a really good seminar that we offer. It's unfortunate, right, that we have to talk about these things, but also I want you to think it's another way for you to be prepared if this ever does happen, okay? So I like to tell people, I used to be an auctioneer, just kidding, I just know I talk kind of fast, right? But if you have any questions at all, if you click next slide. Any questions at all? I'm a part of our community policing unit, so we do safety presentations, we do panels, different forums, we can just have open discussions, right? Anything like that, you can contact our office for. We will be having a women's self-defense program coming up, so if you're interested in learning some self-defense, that will be coming in the near future. And then again, main part that we're on 943 West Maxwell Street, that's our main headquarters. But we will have a satellite office here soon, right in the student center. Okay, so it's the first floor, right next to the barber shop. You got a question, you want to come in, you want to talk, okay, just feel free to come in there and we're here to help you. Thank you.
Before we move on to our next speaker, are there any questions for?
We also have transportation stuff too to talk about.
Okay.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Eric Phillips. I'm the Director of Transportation here for the university. As you guys know, transportation here on campus runs 24/7, from the buses to what we like to do is provide safe and free campus shuttles and transit around the campus, including the West Campus. Okay, so some of the things that we do, we offer, excuse me, inter-campus buses, and I'm sure you're seeing the big red buses going around campus right now. We also have some smaller buses that we transport students left and to the East and West Campus. We have on-demand after-hours service. That's considered the night ride program. The night ride program starts at 10 p.m. and it runs from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Sunday to Saturday, 7 days a week. Okay, and that's all year long. So at any time, if you guys are out or if you're on campus and you want to go anywhere within a 2-mile radius of the campus, it's like an Uber service. We'll provide that service. You are able to connect to the night ride service through a Translock app. And you guys familiar with Translock? I'm assuming most of you guys have it on your phones. If not, it's also tied into the safety app. Okay, so on that safety app, you'll see a link that says Translock. That way you can see where our buses are on campus. All of our buses, they run pretty much 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends as well. There's 1 or 2 buses, but night ride is 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. every day of the week. Okay, you're able to you're able to locate where those buses are during the day, And then at night, for the night ride service, it's like an Uber. You're basically going to say where you want to be picked up, put it in the system. Our drivers are in red vans, and they have night ride written on the side. So it's not just a regular van that's pulling up. It's going to be a UIC night ride van with a yellow light on top. And it'll take you anywhere within the campus vicinity of 2 miles. Some of the other services we offer are paratransit. So anyone with any type of disabilities, we're able to transport those individuals from east to west campus as well. And then a couple other things that I handle under the transportation tag as far as chauffeur services, moving, and obviously handling rentals and repair of our university vehicles. As I said before, the Translock app, it allows you to find out where our buses are at all times. So if you pull up that Translock app, you can see the route in which the bus is taking, where it's going to be, the next stop, and if you're on night ride, that's how you access the night ride app as well. You'll say, I'm located at 750 South Boston. This is where I want to be picked up. Starts at 10 o'clock. So if you log in at 10 o'clock, it'll give you a wait time. It'll tell you, just like an Uber, the vehicle is estimated to be there at such and such time. And then you'll tell them where you want to go, and they'll drop you at the door. Our drivers will not leave until you are safely inside of the establishment wherever you're going. If it's your residence, if it's a friend's house or dorms or whatever the case may be. All right. Next slide. If you don't have the Translock app, you can get it on Google Play, the Apple Store, or using the QR code right there on the screen. As far as our campus shuttles, this is what it looked like on the Translock app. Our daily shuttles run again from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. We have 2 buses that run on campus at the same time. One starts on the east campus, one starts on the west campus, and they intersect. And it takes about half an hour to get from east to west campus with all the stops in between. So the main pickup point on the east campus is at TBH. Okay, that's the starting point. On the west campus, it's at the Harrison Street building at Harrison and Oakland, which is we consider it the 980 building, the innovation building on the west campus. Next one. The evening campus shuttle bus. This is when we start to condense the amount of rides that we have in the evening. We'll have one bus that goes around campus pretty much from 6 to 11 p.m. That's a mistake. It's 11 p.m. That bus circumnavigates the university campus, and it goes every hour. But again, that's the route that it takes, and you'll see that on your Translock app. Next. The weekend, same situation. We have a bus 7 a.m., 11 p.m. on the weekend that goes around campus. Semester Express is another type of bus that we have. This one runs a little bit faster, but it only runs during the semesters. Okay, so it starts on the east campus and it travels to the west campus and back. And the route that it takes about a half an hour, maybe 20 minutes to a half an hour. Not as many stops, but any of our buses, if you get on the bus and you tell them where you're going, if it's in that area, they'll drop you off at one of our designated spots. As I said before, we have paratransit services, which are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it provides a door-to-door service. Same thing with the night ride program. Now, student government came to us last year about this time and asked us to look at changing the night ride program. Because originally it started at 11 p.m. until 7 a.m. We dropped it down 1 hour. Thanks to you guys, we've seen a big increase in the amount of ridership in the night ride program. So, right now it's at 10 o'clock and it goes to 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. Next. If you have any questions about the transportation system, the buses, the night ride, you reach us at transportation.uic.edu. And any questions along the line, down the line, be glad to answer them for you.
All right, and I don't have any slides, but I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Nicole Turner, Associate Director for Preparedness and Prevention in USC's Office of Preparedness and Response. A mouthful. I have two colleagues with me here today, our Associate Director for Marketing and Communications and our Emergency Management Specialist. So we are the UIC team. Our website is ready.uic.edu, and we oversee campus planning for emergency preparedness, violence prevention, and Clery Act compliance, which is a law around crime and safety transparency for universities. So our biggest resource to you is going to be our website. We have a large portal of active threat preparedness resources, very deep dive into student resources that you can use, whether in dorms, in your classroom. We have our emergency response guidelines, all the information that you would want to know about the UIC Safe app, including tutorials, different articles on how to use and make the most out of the app. Any information you want to know about violence prevention, about reporting, it's home to UIC's anonymous incident reporting form, and many other things. So definitely check us out. And if you have any questions, you can contact us at ready@uic.edu.
So tying everything together, we often talk about, hey, we're a safe campus. We try to keep crime away from campus as best as possible, and I feel like we do a very good job of that. And what's often the hardest thing to know is get people to understand what resources we have available, and how to find them. So hopefully this helped in connecting those dots, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have about policing in general, safety on campus, night ride, or any other resources, safety resources available.
Of course, thank you all for your presentations. Does anyone have any questions for our guest speakers?
So when we get on, say, night ride or one of the bus shuttles, what is required of us? Do we have to show UIC card? How do we let them know that we're students?
Yes, go ahead, Eric.
So yes, when you actually enter on the UIC shuttle buses right now, there's a swipe card. So you have to have your iCard to swipe onto the bus. That helps us identify that you are in fact a UIC student. As far as night ride is concerned, when you enter your information into the Translock app, it's going to ask you for your UIN number. So that's how we also identify that you are a UIC student.
Thank you.
And night ride is available for staff as well, so faculty, staff, for students can be on that.
Are there any other questions?
So maybe for all of you, if you can maybe provide some detail like what your like position looks like units you oversee and like what day-to-day looks like.
Sure. Okay, so I have 9 units that report to me, about 1,200 employees. Administrative services is kind of vague, but it's kind of like a catch-all for everything. So I kind of been in 2 large areas. One is the public safety side, which is the police department, preparedness and response, environmental health and safety. And I include parking into that as well. So parking services actually reports to me as well. And then on the facility side, it's all the maintenance and operations, new construction, renovation, utilities, for the university. So that's our facilities management department, our planning, sustainability, and project management, utilities and energy services. For that, and then I have building automation systems and IT for our group, then business services, which kind of cuts across everything. So 9 different units, pretty diverse spread, touching pretty a lot of things at campus in terms of day-to-day operations across the university. Chief, you want to go next?
Yeah. All right, good afternoon. So I have about close to 200 under my umbrella. So oversee all the sworn police officers and also oversee the security at the hospital as well. So over there, we have roughly about 80 people there, and officers will line up at 84. And of course, I got my dispatchers, I got public relations, my internal units with the Department of Investigations. So about 200 people total, so sworn and non-sworn officers.
Larry, come on up here.
I have about 700 employees. They include building service workers, ground workers, mail services, and also skill training. The maintenance.
Again, I oversee about 100 employees, and they range from the drivers, who are driving all the rear vehicles, the garage, who handles the maintenance of all of our vehicles, the moving department, shipping and receiving.
Definitely. Oh, wow. We all have to answer the question.
Well, I don't technically oversee anything, but I'm in front of our community policing unit. So I'm basically the liaison between my department. I oversee basically, I guess, East Campus, South Campus, as well as our different, community partners. So tasked with safety presentation, community initiatives, making sure we're responding to students, staff, faculty, if they've got any safety questions. I do a lot of follow-up, with victims, making sure they have the safety resources on campus. And I also am actually a car seat tech, so people will schedule that and I'll make sure that their car seats are properly.
And Jasmine's a UIC grad.
Former athlete.
I actually, all of us are.
Okay.
So, my day to day, our office in general collaborates with a lot of other units on campus. So we kind of collect a lot of information and figure out how we can get it out to the masses. One kind of niche area of my job is our UIC violence prevention plan. So we're required to have a plan in place for identifying, interrupting, concerning behavior situations, or if someone were to make a threat to the campus, to make sure that we can try to prevent situations like active threat situations. So we have a couple of teams that do that work on our campus, that take student concerns, that try to connect them to resources to make sure that they have the financial support that they need to just help, and one for the employee side as well, to help make sure that everyone has the support that they need to address any grievances that they have, to maintain a level of health and wellness so that we don't see something escalate. And a really cool part of the work that our office does is something called exercises. So we have plans in place for all of these different situations that we may never see occur, but we need to make sure how we know how we're going to respond if something were to happen. So we simulate events and work with our partners on campus to say, okay, here's the scenario of this fictional event. All of these different factors are coming together. What are you going to do to keep the campus safe? What are you going to do to address this flooding, a weather event, an active threat situation, whatever it may be?
My name is Adriana, and I'm in communication and marketing in the same department. And my job basically is translate all that complex information, policies, procedures, everything that people that might not be familiar with emergency management or emergency planning can understand, and it's more digestible for everybody to understand. And I know just be kind of like, this is not for me, this is not my audience. I'm not sure what they're telling me about, so it's kind of like make it more relatable for everybody to be informed and be aware of what's going on.
I'm Katie. I'm an emergency management specialist with Operations the Office of Preparedness and Response. And basically, what Nicole outlined very well. I assist a lot with the exercises, working with other departments so we can properly prepare and execute our operations plans. And another part of my job is also creating those emergency operations plans. So what will our units do in the event of blank? How will we respond, and how will we make sure that we recover quickly? So once again, we're working with a lot of different units to put those plans in place and prepare for them and execute.
And before we totally jump off topic, I was supposed to mention, as a thank you for having us and being our partners in safety, we brought some stuff on the table for you. There's some t-shirts as a thank you to being, our partners, and to just thank you for all the work that you do on behalf of the student body. Information on the USC Safe app, active threat preparedness, candy, and I know the police have brought a
We brought some good events. There's a couple of things, candies, dress bottles.
Well, thank you. That's so good. Are there any last comments or questions for our guest speaker?
So I wanted to ask how you guys had
Your Office for Emergency Responses and the UIC, you guys have kind of collaborated together, and if so, in the future, what would you guys do?
That's on a daily basis. I mean, it's like one hand, right hand, left hand. We have to collaborate. They're looking at the preparedness side, we're more on the reaction side and dealing with the situation. So again, we're hand in hand. So as you can see from everybody here, we all collectively work together. There's a lot of different facets to keeping people safe and what people think safety is. So we have to work together in this atmosphere because it's always changing. So short answer is yes, and it's a must. We'll continue to work.
Are there any, I think we have time for one more question.
Yeah, thank you all so much for coming today. Now I just want to know, as USG, what can we do to help you all on the student level, if there's anything?
I'll start. I think helping, spread the word about, what, the safety is a personal responsibility. That this team, while we all take it seriously and try to do our best to keep the campus safe, we can't guarantee safety. There's always going to be a personal responsibility to be responsible for your own safety. And so it's incumbent upon everyone to be aware of the safety resources that are available and tools, and not just be aware of the use them and encourage others to use it as well. To make safety part of your planning for events or for different things on campus. And not be afraid to interact and engage, especially with our law enforcement officers, because they want to see all our students succeed. And they're willing to do whatever it takes on a daily basis to help in that trip.
And I'll just add on to that. So, since I've been here, I always like to get feedback. Good feedback, bad feedback. I just need feedback. I need to know what is the student body thing. What is it that you all need from us? Because, each semester changes. People come in, people go out, things happen in the world, things just change all the time. And ultimate goal is to make sure that you're successful. We're here because of you. We want to make sure that you're safe here, So I think I talked to Matthew, we had talked a lot about, surveys to try to figure out what are some of those common themes. Because even though we're a safe campus and the numbers show that we're a safe campus, if a person doesn't feel safe, they don't feel safe. What can we do to make that group, that person feel safe while they're on campus? No matter what group you're part of, what organization, your background, doesn't make a difference. Our goal is to make sure everybody feels safe. Welcome at UIC.
I'll add a couple areas from our office. One thing you can do is just listen to us share in our Instagram posts. We try to take safety resources and make it into something fun or visually appealing for the student body. And the more people who share those, the more information that we can get out about what resources are available. Again, our website, ready.uic.edu, is a huge repository of different resources on different topics. So having people just know that exists and that they can go there and search for whatever key term they want to look for, and that we're available for presentations, for outreach. If you have another group that you're a part of, no matter how small, and you want us to come present about our resources or a certain topic, that's part of what we do, and we're happy to do so. So definitely reach out.
And then, then maybe just one more thing, echoing what Chancellor Coronado, just spreading the word specifically for UIC Safe app. That's a great resource that we have, but if we don't use it, we don't know what's working, we don't know what's actually functioning or not. Use it, break it, tell us how we can improve it. And I think spreading the word and using it daily, that's kind of like the feedback that we really appreciate, so we can keep improving for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, to add on, we definitely want to use our social media presence on campus to let students know that we do have a UIC Safe app, or even making videos as on the student government of how to use the Safe app. It's nice to hear ideas, because we definitely want to use our social media to let students know that there is a website for safety and there is an app to be used, because a lot of students, believe it or not, don't know that. And I feel like when they see that on Instagram and social media, they'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And then they'll see how to use it. And yeah, it's definitely nice to hear feedback too.
And we actually have a whole area of our website, the QR code on the handout that's rolled up in the t-shirt, that use the Safe App website. We have a whole area on pre-packaged social media posts, customizable posts. You can throw in your logo or add whatever you want to add. It's there. We want you to use it, so we would be so grateful if you did.
Great, thank you for letting us know. Yeah, we'll definitely look into that more.
And they'll be more than happy to partner with you. too,
Yeah.
on this stuff.
Of course.
If you need to customize something, we're always available for, creating something special for specific events or something like that. Just let us know and we'll make it good.
Great, I think that was, time for our last question. I'll make sure to send out, those PowerPoints so that you can reach out, to any of our lovely guest speakers today.
And yeah, thank you all again for first coming here to speak with us all, but also for your continued partnership with us and really with the students. Very excited to continue working with you this year and many years to come. But thank you again, and yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Thank you very much.
All right, now we will move on to our next order of business. The next order of business is old business. First, we have resolution 2023 F6-1003, which we will vote on tonight. Would a chief sponsor be able to read it for us?
I'll be reading. The USG Coffee, Cocoa, Cookies, and Careers event. So chief sponsors were the entire Student Success Committee. Co-sponsors were Secretary Pitzinio, Treasurer Cabaz, Speaker of the House Shell, Chief of Staff Pasta, and President Almendras. Whereas the undergraduate student government cares for the academic success of students and gives importance to providing opportunities for their career readiness, and whereas this can be achieved by collaborating with the UIC career development departments, and whereas the Student Success Committee will be hosting a USG Coffee, Cocoa, Cookies, and Career event in collaboration with the LAS Department of Internships, Career Development on Friday, November 17th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Then let it be resolved that USG will allocate $80 for the following services and any other needed supplies, one projector and screen, one microphone. Let it be further resolved that USG will allocate $90 for the following beverages from UIC Catering, 3 gallons of coffee, 3 gallons of hot chocolate, 2 gallons of hot water and assorted teas. Let it be further resolved that USG will allocate $200 for the following cookies, Oreos, Grandma's Cookies, Chips Ahoy. Let it be further resolved that USG will allocate $75 for the promotion and printing of 100 bingo cards for the event from Staples. Let it be further resolved that USG will allocate a total of $450 for the cost of the USG Coffee, Cocoa, Cookies, and Career event. Let it be further resolved that any unused funds will be returned to the USG budget. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution? All right, if not, we will move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2023 F6-1003, please say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? Then the resolution has passed. Next, we have resolution 2023 F6-3003, which we will vote on tonight. Would the chief sponsor be able to read it for us?
I'll be reading it again. Support of creating and adopting open educational resources. Chief sponsors were President Almendras, myself, Representative Somek, and Representative Kudubiapu. Whereas the undergraduate student government advocates for ensuring an affordable cost of attendance for students at the University of Illinois, Chicago, and whereas textbooks are one of the most expensive out-of-pocket costs a student can pay for, and whereas in a 2021 study conducted by the U.S. Public Interest Research Group found that 67% of students surveyed had skipped purchasing their required textbooks, and whereas in a 2023 U.S. PIRG report finds that every dollar invested in OER grants can save students $10 to $20, and that grant programs started during the pandemic have already saved students more than $2.5 million. And whereas in 2021, USG provided an additional $10,000 of funding to the Open Textbook Faculty Incentive Program that increased the overall funding from $20,000 to $30,000. which saved students a collective $260,000, promising a strong return of investment. And whereas funding and support for the open textbook faculty incentive program was discontinued despite its proven success in saving students money, then let it be resolved that the undergraduate student government calls for the following to address high textbook costs. One, the reestablishment of the open textbook faculty incentive program. Two, a task force to be created composed of UIC faculty, administrators, USG members, and students to assess the support, adoption, and education of OER. Let it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be sent to the Office of the Chancellor, Office of the Provost, offices of college deans and department heads, the UIC Senate, and other relevant offices and departments for discussion and consideration. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution? All right, if not, we will move on to voting. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2023 F6/3003, please say aye. All that opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? Then the resolution has passed. The next order of business is new business. First, we have resolution 2023 F7/1004. Representative Ashley Fong, would you be able to introduce the resolution?
So resolution 2023 F7/1004 is USG's Week of Giving. Chief sponsor is the Campus Led Committee, and then co-sponsor is President Matthew and Treasurer McCoy. Whereas food insecurity is a pervasive issue in many communities, including the student population at the University of Illinois, Chicago, and whereas 30.8% of young adult college students in the United States have reported food insecurity, and whereas the undergraduate student government is committed to serving the UIC community and promoting the well-being of its students, and whereas USG is committed to fighting student food insecurity, and whereas the UIC Wellness Center has a UIC Public Pantry that serves the UIC community by giving food items and other necessities for free, and whereas members of USG are students who are committed to the betterment of the UIC community, then let it be resolved, USG will host an event titled USG's Week of Giving from November 7th, 2023 until November 14th, 2023. Let it be resolved, USG will promote a campaign to ask USC organizations to participate in the USG food drive. Let it be resolved, all participating students will be instructed to donate their items through the USG Amazon wish list and or USG office respectively and delivered on or by November 14th. Let it be resolved, all participating students wanting to participate on behalf of the student organization will be asked to present the number of total items donated to their respective organization, their leadership on or by November 14th. Let it be resolved, the onus will be on each student participating on behalf of the student organization to report the total number of items donated by or donated on or by November 14th accurately to Campus Life Director to the USG, the UNC email or Google form. Let it be resolved, USG will give a celebratory meal to the organization who is able to donate the most items altogether to USG's Week of Giving. Let it be resolved, if there's a tie, the celebratory meal will be given to one of those organizations to donate. Let it be resolved, USG will allocate no more than $850 to the celebratory dinner at Pompeii Restaurant at 1531 West Taylor Street, Chicago, Illinois, 6067. Let it be further resolved, all unspent funds shall be added back to the USG fund.
Thank you. I will now open the floor up for discussion. Are there any questions or comments about this resolution? All right, if there are no questions or comments, we will be voting on this resolution next week. Next, we have resolution 2023 F7/5000. Would a co-sponsor be able to introduce the resolution for us?
Hello, everyone. So this is room reservation funding allocation resolution. Whereas it is challenging to secure room reservations for USG events without ample time in advance. As a result, event proposal resolutions are often introduced prematurely in order to secure a room for the event. And whereas USG seeks to provide its members with the necessary time to thoroughly plan and execute events. And whereas room reservations can be canceled and refunded if needed, in which case the funds will be returned to the allocation. Then let it be resolved that USG shall allocate $2,500 to cover room reservation fees for our events for the 2023-2024 academic year. Let it be further resolved that any unspent allocated funds will be returned to the budget by the 10th week of the spring 2024 semester.
you. I will now open up the floor for discussion. Are there any questions or comments regarding this resolution?
Yeah, so just to provide a little bit more clarity, this is what I was discussing last week in my report, because as we all know, it's really challenging to get a room reservation in the student center, and as the resolution says, we don't want this to hinder anybody's planning and execution of the event, so this fund will pretty much act as like, you know, if you want to reserve a room for your event, you'll now be able to without having to pass a resolution specifically for it. And again, if the event does get canceled, we can cancel the room reservation too, and we'll get the money back. So just to make things more efficient for everybody.
Are there any other questions or comments regarding this resolution? If there are no questions or comments, we will be voting on this resolution next. All right, the next order of business is items for discussion. Since there are no items for discussion, we'll be moving on to the next order of business, which is ex officio reports. May we have the report of the advisor?
Good evening, folks. This is pretty interesting, on my head. So my name is Dr. Erica Boyd, and I serve as your advisor, but part of my role within the Office of Dean of Students is community standards. So I want to announce to you all that we have started a restorative justice task force. It's composed of faculty, grad students, as well as some staff members. And who is familiar with what restorative justice is? So can anybody give me an example of what, if you could define restorative justice? Can you raise their hand? Sure. Okay, so restorative justice is a concept, a framework, a philosophical framework. When you're really thinking about, when we think about criminal, it started with the criminal justice system, it focuses on critical race theory. And part of it is really thinking about how we think about our communities and think about reconciliation and how we do that. As you all know, UIC is a very diverse pool, with people from all different walks of life as well as communities. And so part of how we think about community standards is really to think about how we can be accountable, but not do harm in these spaces. So I am bringing this to you all, because we do need some undergraduate student members within this task force. So what I will do is send out information regarding our meeting times, to the e-board, and hopefully some of you all as representatives sign up for this topic. I think your input and how we think about our policies, our processes are critical because inevitably the students are impacted by these. So without further ado, you all have questions. All right, so you all will see that communication coming, okay? Well, that's all I got.
Thank you.
What is your costume you are wearing?
You do not get.
Isn't it Tyler the Creator?
Igor, thank you.
Yeah, it looks very good.
Wait, that's actually really good.
If there are no questions, then we will move on to the report of the student trustee. Do we have a report this week? All right, then we will move on to the next order of business, which is office and reports. May we please have the report of the.
Thank you. So, to my understanding, we'd be wearing costumes tonight. So I guess I'm the only one wearing a costume. So
I'm just solidarity.
yeah, thank you. So I mean, I guess for this meeting, I'm not present. I'm a baker. If you could tell by the apple pie in my head. Yeah, I know. Yeah, most people thought it was pizza or like a cheese, but it's apple because I love it. But on to my recipe here, or no, my recipe, my report. First of all, thank you to everyone that came by to kind of like study hangout sessions last Tuesday, had a good time, just getting work done. I think this could be like a bi-weekly thing, so thinking we can do it again next Tuesday. Probably like the same time, 2 to 5. Yeah. Other than that, so I attended the shared governance meeting hosted by student trustee Hop, this past, last Monday. Big takeaways that will increase our collaborations, with all the other student council, presidents, that's, the graduate student council, health professionals, student council, student bar association at law school, and I believe there's another organization that's, shared governance, kind of meeting, but we're thinking of doing like some sort of social between all of our respective governing bodies. So we'll plan it out. So please be on the lookout for that. Vice President Fernandez and I met with Provost colleagues to discuss several of our initiatives. That includes the Bachelor's Accelerated Master's Program. Bachelor's Accelerated Master's Program in psychology. That's a little bit written in my report. The other program is the Graduate School Admissions Test Fund Program and funding for the OER Extended Program and USG Faculty OER Leadership Award Program. These are 3 initiatives that we are hoping to at least get commitment from the university to kind of implement what the Bachelor's Accelerated Master's Program in Psychology. Bachelor's Accelerated Master's in Psychology program is basically you can get your bachelor's in say psychology and a master's and maybe also psychology in 5 years as opposed to the 7 years needed to get your bachelor's in 4 and master's in 3. The reason we would like this program to be implemented is so that we can get more counselors. The second program that I listed here is the Graduate School Admissions Test Fund Program. This program will hopefully pay for very expensive graduate school admissions tests, such as the DAT, LSAT, NCAT, and other tests. I know the DAT is like around $500. I've heard like the NCAT is like around $300, and that could be very expensive for many students. Huge financial barrier, and especially you need to pay this every time you want to take test. So we are looking for ways to fund this program and how we will administer it. But based on our conversation with Provost colleagues, she likes the idea, but looking forward to hear more details. And I guess just today or tonight, we passed the OER resolution calling for the reestablishment of the OER incentive program and the task force item brought up with Provost Kashi is 100% down for it. And I think the OER incentive program will be reestablished with maybe even more funding, but that's discussions we're gonna need to have with Provost Kashi. And the funding we secured last year for the Faculty OER Leadership Award Program is still secured, and they are committed to giving us that money for the program. But I've also been meeting with student groups and leaders across campus just to share updates on what we're doing and the call to action, just getting them to participate in things that we do. So most students agree with increasing fees. It means better support and better facilities. Maybe the least thing they're non-agreement with is maybe new flooring for the student centers. So that's something I'm gonna try to talk to Charles Farrell, who serves as Director for Facility Management here at SE. But overall, student org support, increased outlet access are the biggest issues that gathered from all these things. With that, I yield my time.
Are there any questions? For that? All right, if there are no comments or questions, the report of the president will be filed. Next, we have a report of the vice president.
All right, so I'll be reading Vice President Fernandez's report today. So Michael met with Provost Colley last Tuesday, had a great discussion about the OER program, the Okanagan Governor, and how to promote student wellness on campus. President Matthews, student trustee, and Michael attended and participated in the faculty awards ceremony and reception last Wednesday. As far as USG commissions, Mike is beginning to conduct interviews for MHC and CSC. The commissioners should be announced by the next general body meeting. As a reminder, Friday, November 10th is the UIC homecoming from 5 to 7 p.m. It's located in parking lot 1B. Address is right there. Mike communicated with Director Zaina and graphic designer Emma on graphic designs that USG will be using to promote the tailgate. Please send the graphic out to friends and leaders of student organizations so that the event will have high participation. Communicating with FSL and other organizations on sharing the event out to their known contacts. He's also communicating with the Alumni Association on the logistics of our collaboration. Additionally, he's communicating with Vanessa from CSI on tailgate logistics. Director Tejal and him met or will meet this week to confirm details of the event. And Mike finished student organization tailgate competition form, and this can be found in the USG Instagram link tree. Additionally, Mike attended the USG e-board meeting last Friday and had continued dialogue with Dr. Raphael on how the Okanagan Charter can be used to promote wellness of students at UIC. If you have any questions, please direct them to Vice President Fernandez.
All right, are there any, since Mike is not here, reach out to Mike if you have any questions or comments about his report. Next, we have the report of the treasurer.
Hello, everyone. Hope you all had a great and eventful Halloween weekend. So for my report, I met with Chief of Staff Quinn. We discussed how to make room reservations more smooth and make it more efficient. That's to help everyone plan with their events better. I held my committee meeting on Wednesday. We all discussed Representative Jesse's Gomez idea, along with the rest of the committee, on purchasing more office supplies for the USG office. We also took a field trip to the Dean Student's office, and we all met with Diana Jones in person first time. And I also planned the menu for the Connecting Students Leaders event. We'll send the RFF to the students ASAP. I also met with Director Tejal and discussed the incentive price for the USG food drive. We came to the conclusion that the best thing was the dinner at Pompeii. I also met with Director Zana and Web Administrator Mauricio, where we discussed merchandise, promotional items, and the purchasing of a camera for USG. And today's catering includes chicken Alfredo, zesty beef bolognese, pomodoro bowl, crispy cauliflower bites, and assorted cookies brownies. And for the bi-weekly budget update, as you can see, the total remainder we have is $122,448.50. So if you have any events or initiatives you'd like to pass that involve money, feel free to do so, as we're clearly sitting pretty right now. So also, if you have any questions or have any concerns about the money, feel free to contact me. So I give my time to questions.
All right, are there any questions for Matua? If there are no questions or comments, the report of the treasurer will be filed. Next, we have the report of the speaker.
All right. Hello, everyone. I hope you missed the sound of my voice. But happy GBM7. I'm continuing to meet with all of you individually. Once again, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with me. These are super helpful comments for sharing with me. And we're actively using them to improve the organization. As a reminder, these meetings are mandatory and there's not that much time left to sign up for a slot. I believe they only go through mid-November, so if you haven't already, please sign up so you can meet. For the Halloween social, which is tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m., it will be in the inner circle. Wear your costumes. The committee with the most Halloween / USG spirit, which will be measured through attendance, costumes, and activity participation. Will get a little surprise. It's a great casual opportunity to get to know your fellow USG members, which is something that you have, or many of you have expressed interest in those meetings that we've had. I plan some games and activities for us to do, and it will be a pop-up style. So Obviously, no obligation to bring treats if you do not want to, but I will be bringing treats, so feel free to do so. if you wish. For the real fall social, we are looking to hold it on Monday, November 27th from 6 to 8 p.m., which is our usual time slot for GBMs. So instead of one last GBM for finals, it'll be fall social. So mark your calendars now, and we are looking at various venues here. I also worked with Chief and Treasurer Toy on the reservation resolution. Hope that went well today. And I worked to prepare in case of modesty to make the packet and GBM 7. And I wasn't able to see most of it, but I'm assuming she did an amazing job. So and I yield my time to questions.
Are there any questions or comments for Michelle's report? All right. Oh,
I don't have time for it for tomorrow's social, but for the fall social, I'll bake something. Not to say that because I'm wearing a
baker.
but if you have any recommendations of what I should bake, let me know. I'll speak of something.
All right. Are there any other questions or?
Apple pie.
Okay.
All right, then the report of the speaker will be filed. Next, we have the report of the chief of staff.
Hello again, everyone. Happy GBM 7. So this week I held a check-in with Director of Public Affairs Zena, and he's not here right now, but I want to thank Web Administrator Mauricio for joining us. We discussed the promotion of upcoming USG events, the potential USG camera, and USG merchandise. Also held check-in with Director of Legislative Affairs Department. We discussed the Student Bill of Rights, food insecurity, and free speech initiatives. Additionally, I held check-in with the Director of Student Success, Asa. We discussed the upcoming Coffee, Cocoa, Cookies, and Careers event, and reinstating the USG Open Educational Resources Initiative. Second to last, I held a check-in with the Director of Diversity and Inclusion, Delat. We discussed meetings with administrators and potential upcoming events for the committee. And lastly, I held a check-in with Treasurer Matthew Wallace. We discussed all past and upcoming resolutions requiring funding. I provided a couple RFFs from last year for his reference. Additionally, I worked with Treasurer Matthew Wallace and Speaker of the House Michelle to create a resolution for funding for room reservations, as we all saw earlier. We held the weekly executive board meeting last Friday. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. My email is right there. But yeah, I yield my time for questions.
Are there any questions or comments for Quinn? All right, if there are no questions or comments, the report of the chief of staff will be filed. Next, we have the report of the diversity and inclusion committee chair.
Hi everyone, I want to say congratulations to all of us at the and being so semester. I attended the women's speakers and discussed how to make great mistakes and survivors make them. And I was able to discuss it. Sorry guys, my computer finds the right time to okay. So I attend that event and I was able to discuss it with the team director and director about how to increase the awareness actually at university and how to make feel safe and better about sexual awareness to our students. I met with the trustee talks about cultural groups at UIC and protected rights. I work with the Deputy Chair Jordan for cultural centered events and cultural days. I had diversity and inclusion meeting on Monday and Friday, thanks to DIC members for the great contribution. I work with the representative Sejal, representative Jordan, and representative CJ for researching on diverse and cultural organizations at UIC. We created a package for the Halloween giveaway, which is tomorrow. I work with the graphic designer Emma and Secretary Abby for dessert tables. They will share post tomorrow. Please feel free to send that to your friends. because this event is basically giving a free full bag of toys, chocolates, candies, and also masks for students, so everyone are welcome to come and step by to our table and take these. Also, I want to say thank you to Director of Partners, Dr. House Michelle, for their contributions making bags. So yeah, that event will be right before USG Social, so it will be great. And also, we will do packaging from 2 p.m., the last packaging before event. If you guys want to help, talk to Michelle that you guys are welcome to come and help with us. Yeah, and I had checking with Basta for diversity and inclusion committee. I had keyboard meeting and I did communicating with health centers. If you have any questions, please reach out to my email, and I'm excited for our social tomorrow, which I have a surprise.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't tell. Yes. Thank you.
All right, are there any questions for the lab? If there are no questions or comments, the report of the Director of Diversity and Inclusion will be filed. Next, we have the report of the legislative officers.
All right. Hi, everyone. Happy week 11. So not too much this week. I met with Nick, who's always here. We hashed out some details for the RSO and FSL civic engagement campaigns. If anyone's interested in helping out, feel free to reach out. Those are going to start rolling out in terms of like engagement as well as outreach in the next few weeks. We're also planning on meeting with both RSO, so CSI, as well as FSL before Thanksgiving. We also had our 4th LAC meeting. So shout out to Sadie and Alexis. Alexis is not here, but Sadie's here, and they've been working really hard on the student bill of rights and did a lot of research on that, as well as Maddie for the civic engagement initiative, who's also not here. But meetings have been going really well, and I'm really pleased with everyone's work. Chief of Staff check-in I had with Quinn, and we discussed our current initiatives and implementation over the next few weeks. Just a few upcoming things for LAC. We're meeting with Ray Joyce hopefully this week. She's a part of SLCE, so Student Leadership and Civic Engagement on Wednesday. We also have our 5th LAC meeting on Wednesday. And as Matthew mentioned, we have a meeting with Governmental Relations on Thursday. And I yield my time for questions.
Are there any questions for Parnell's report? All right, if there are no questions or comments, the report of the Legislative Affairs Chair will be filed. Next, we have the report from the Public Affairs Committee Chair.
Hello, everyone. Happy GBM 7. I'm so sorry my report's long, but I'm gonna keep it quick. So merch designs are finalized, so please complete the Google form I sent out this morning in order to receive your merch. The form is gonna be due Wednesday, November 1st. Also keep in mind, merch is included in our budget, so it is free to all USG members. Just a reminder that everybody gets 1 polo, and then you either get a crew neck or a quarter zip. So yeah, you can't get 2, but you try to make a decision between both. I know some people have been selecting both, but let me know if you prefer the quarter zip or the crew neck. And then you also have a choice between a water bottle and then a USG tote bag. Also, if you're a graduating senior and are graduating either this semester or next semester, please fill out the Google form I attached with the merchandise email I sent out this morning. We want to start ordering cords and stoles ASAP. I met with Web Administrator Mauricio and we discussed USG camera options to purchase and some website updates. I met with Chief of Staff Quinn and Web Administrator Mauricio and we discussed merch, camera resolution, and discussed monthly PAC plans. I don't know what. And then I met with Treasurer Matoy and Web Administrator Mauricio and we went over the budget for the merchandise, which is already allocated in the budget. And then we also went over the budget for the camera resolution, which we will be releasing next week. I was in communication with VP Michael and graphic designer Emma regarding the tailgate competition and designing the graphic. Thank you so much for your hard work, Emma. The graphic looks awesome. And then I was also in contact with Director Tajal regarding the Connecting Student Leaders event and regarding to discussing invites, RSVP forms, and the flyer for graphic designer Emma. PAC started working on the USG November newsletter, which is going to be released on Wednesday, November 1st. And I attended the weekly e-board meeting this week. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments for Dana's report? Alrighty, if there are no questions or comments, the report of the Public Affairs Chair will be filed. Next, we have the Student Success Chair.
Hi, everyone. Sorry. I hope everyone had a fun and safe Halloween weekend. Last Tuesday, I met with the Executive Director, Jean Riordan of Career Services, to discuss how USG can collaborate with her department. Just a couple ideas that came out of it. We are thinking about establishing a student advisory board, possibly sponsoring a headshots event. Also, we might be hosting an alumni student networking event sometime soon. Last Thursday, I attended the USC Senate General Meeting, and USG was mentioned by Chancellor Miranda, so it's super cool to see that our university leaders are recognizing the work we do on a regular basis. Other than that, have a great Halloween tomorrow night. Thank you.
All right, are there any comments or questions for Council's report? If there are no questions or comments, the report of the Student Success Chair will be filed. Next, we have the campus.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 11. Firstly, I'm Eva President Matthew and the perspective to hear about the department's perspective on the right intuition and the need of funding. I'm Eva President Matthew to talk about the full project standards and USG comparing from 7 to 14 and upward in 2023. I would really appreciate participating and donating to the item. Winners will be announced on 15 November. The Connecting Student Leader event will be held on 9th November from 6 to 8 p.m. Kindly note that all organizations and other members are posted on postal basis. The flyer has already been posted on the Instagram, so do look for the RSVP form and fill it as soon as possible before the slots get full. And Dr. Jen and I have been communicating on the flyer to drive and Connecting Student Leader event. I attended the executive board meeting and also had a conversation meeting with the video of the part of Vanessa. VP Michael and I will be taking interviews for safety commissioners and fees. So thank you for all those who submitted the application. And if you have any questions or concerns, reach out to me. Thank you.
All right, are there any questions for the teachers? If there are no questions or comments, the report of the campus life, the chair will file. The next order of business is announcements. Are there any announcements? I have a quick announcement. So tomorrow there's a host of events. So we're doing the painting event from 2 to 4. Please feel free to stop by. You can grab a bag since you're students yourselves. Bring a friend or something and kind of stop by the table. Afterwards, we have the USG social from 4 to 6 p.m. in Inner Circle. Make sure to stop by to support your committee. We'll be having some fun activities there. I believe Student Activity Board is having an event from 6 to 8 p.m. It's like this glow in the dark roller skating thing, which is pretty exciting and cool. Okay, that's all. That's pretty exciting and cool that I know of this week. All right, if there are no more announcements, we will move on to the next order of business. The next order of business is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? There has been a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
A second.
It has been moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Does anyone abstain? The ayes have it. The meeting is now adjourned at 7:13 p.m.
Bye, Mike.
You can't open